欢迎收看最新一期的子天访谈录，我是子天 Schedule. Welcome to SD Talk Show and Happy New Year. Hi, Danny.
Hi, Sky.
Yeah, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you. I can't believe it, 2022.
Yes.
Any big plans?
Yes. Big plans?
Yes.
Big plans is, firstly, I want to thanks for doing commercial support SD Talk Show for last year.
Thank you. Thank you. We are very grateful.
Yes.
And today we invite a guest.
Yeah, and the new year, my big plan is I with Danny want to interview around the world and even the audience to our new studio, do a live show.
Thank you, Sky. I think this is a borderless platform. This is a platform where we invite good people to come to share the stories. So I think this is very appropriate in the beginning of the new year. We invite a guest. I think he's very successful in his own way. So with that, we'd like to introduce to you, what you want to introduce the judge, our guest?
And Mr. Bret is so
Judge
happy
Bret
to see you. Judge Bret.
Kisluk, yes.
Yeah.
Welcome. Thank you for having me. Happy New Year. I'm very, very happy that you've allowed me to come and connect with you and your audience here today. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So you're looking forward to a great years?
I am. I'm looking forward to a lot of hard work, a lot of dedication, and bringing back to a community to include everyone. And I just enjoy Harris County. It's been so blessful for me and my family.
Right.
I want to pay back to the community that's been so good to me.
Yeah, giving back is your big thing. You know, I was very fascinated with your stories. We talk a lot. And what connected me with you is your story. You're also an immigrant. And I look at you as a success story of a son of an immigrant. Tell us about it.
Yeah, it's actually my grandfather that first came from Russia through New York, and he got turned away at 9 years old.
What year was that? You talk about your grandfather.
My grandfather was before World War I.
Got you.
He got turned away. About 3 years later, he made it back again by himself at age 12. Came back through New York and made it through. Settled in the Midwest in Kansas City, Missouri, where I'm from. My dad is a first generation American. I'm the second.
Yeah.
And it was a story of hard work, dedication, and commitment is what brought him here.
Right.
And he gave me the work ethic to be where I'm at today.
Right. That was a very powerful story. Did you get any kind of message in writing in form of a book? I really want to get more in detail about his story. I mean, it's not just a guy who came and he got kicked back and he came back. I mean, did he tell you how he overcome all those obstacles?
By focusing, like the one thing I've learned from all my grandparents, but especially from him, because I spent Sundays, literally hours on Sundays, visiting with him.
Right.
And he taught me that if you are persistent, if you work hard, with God's grace, you're going to be successful. He was very proud of me before he passed away that I became a lawyer. It kind of brings me to tears because he was such an inspiration to me that if you work hard and you are focused and dedicated to helping people.
Right.
Because one thing he did is he had a grocery store when I was a little boy. And eventually he closed it down because it got set on fire a couple times. But
what state was that?
this was in Kansas City, Missouri.
Kansas City, okay.
But what he did for other immigrant Russian families, Jewish families that came to Kansas City, in his garage, he had a big space behind there. He set it up like a store. He would go down to the market, get fresh fruit, vegetables, and canned goods, and he would invite people over to shop free to take whatever they needed to help their families out.
I love it. So like an old comers help newcomers.
Absolutely.
Russian helping Russians.
Absolutely.
So was he classified as refugee at that time?
No, he was not. But he was blessed by having people take care of him to help get him settled in.
Right.
And so he always paid back. And he said, that's what you do. And that's why I want to run for Justice of the Peace in Precinct 5, Place 2. Because Harris County has been great to me since I've been here in 1984.
Right.
I want to pay back to the community that's been so good to me.
Okay, we get there. So basically, he raised your father, and your father raised you, and obviously, what has made you decided to become an attorney? Why laws instead of medicine?
When I was about 4 or 5 years old, there was a TV show called Owen and Marshall's Attorney at Law.
Yeah.
And I saw that, and I said, that's what I want to be. Because I saw even in that show that people got help from these two men. And that was what told me, that's what you're going to do. And I've always worked every step of the way through, and I was able to read since age 4.
Right.
And so I was always curious and read, and I was always curious as to when people said, you have to do this, I said, why? Tell me why, explain to me. If it makes sense, I'll do it. That's what law is. Are laws made of common sense. And that's what I've always done from such a young age. There was another mentor that I loved too, and a guy named Jack LaLanne, like you, who work out a lot.
Yes.
That training gives me the energy, because I'll be 60 years old in a couple weeks, and that gives me the energy to work out 5 to 6 days a week, 2 hours at a time. And still full-time practice, still municipal court, 3 different courts that I help take care of.
Wow. I don't know about you, Sky. When I was 5 years old, I was eating candies. You know, and then when I was 5 years old, he focused on being an attorney. I mean, what set you different?
Yeah.
What made you different, Bret?
God's blessing, quite honestly.
God bless you. Yeah.
God's hand that was in my life and has given me blessings to this day. And blessed me with such a beautiful family, beautiful support, beautiful people like you that I get to meet along the way.
Yes, thank you.
People that are similar in values, hard work, and dedication to helping the community, which you two both do every single day of your life.
Thank you.
So that's the inspiration I get when I see and hear your stories.
Yeah. Okay. You see how diplomatic he is?
Yeah.
He's a very diplomatic attorney. Okay, what other question do you have for the judge?
I think you are a really special one. I think many attorney, many really busy people, they don't care what they looks like. I mean, this is like they will not go to gym for 5 days, every day 2 hours. So what make you want you keep maintenance yourself?
Well, because this is almost like my, for our iPhones, we need a charger, right, to make it work.
Right.
Yeah.
For me to keep the energy level to do all that I do, I have to have that time to decompress, focus on getting the inner body and the mind set to be able to help people and to have the energy level.
Right.
I mean, I'm a 6 a.m. to about 10 p.m. guy, and it's running the whole time.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
Did you hear that? He said he was about to become 60 years old. 6, 0, not 1 6, okay. And I mean, you showed me the pictures. If you look at his workout pictures, it was fascinating. I mean, you must have a strong inner motivation and inner strength to be able to lift that heavy weight.
It's a lot of, I keep mentioning God, but God is deep in my faith.
No, please mention God.
Because He gives me the energy, He gives me the blessings to do what I do. If He takes away...
So you're a Christian?
Jewish. Modern Orthodox Jewish man.
Got you.
And, everything that He gives me is what allows me to do this. If He takes away, just as we see these great professional athletes, that's a gift that God gives them. But it can be taken away. And I know that, and so every night I say, thank God, and I thank Him for everything that He gives me every single day, because without His blessing, I'm not where I'm at. I don't get to meet people like Sky or you, Danny. I don't get that opportunity because God didn't give me that opportunity. He's given me this opportunity, and He told me, you know what, this family is what's important. And so my family comes first. Every Friday night we have Shabbat dinner together, and every Saturday together.
So it runs in the family.
It does with this family. My parents grew up more conservative Jewish, which is not observing the Sabbath, but my grandparents did. And they kept kosher, and we do as my household.
You mentioned God, and you also said that He has been an inner strength and source power for you. Have you always been able to connect it with your Creator, God?
Yes.
I mean, how do you do that? A lot of people start losing faith and they get caught up with the daily activity. How can you connect it with God?
Well, the first way to connect with God is disconnect from the world. So on Friday night and Saturday, I don't use my phone. Because that's...
For how long?
From sundown on Friday night, and that varies each week, obviously, to Saturday night. It's about an hour after sundown.
Yeah.
Jewish holidays. Because, again, connecting with God is not only going to a place of worship, but it's how you live your life.
Right.
By the precepts of the Torah, which is what we go by.
Yeah.
And making sure that you're just nice to people. If you're nice to people and tell God thank you for everything that you get, you'll be successful. So you have God's hand.
Thank you. So you're telling us you live a pretty balanced life.
Absolutely.
So what are your life priorities?
Family, God, family, and work. And it all works because God gives me the strength to do it. and the energy to do it. I don't know many people, and I'm not bragging, I'm really not, because what you see is what you get with me. But if I didn't have God in my life, I wouldn't be able to do anything that I do. I just can't.
I'm very grateful to hear that you're grateful to your Creator. Let's get back to our stories, because I want to share the story of the audience, your journey. Okay, so you became an attorney, you graduated, you were very happy, and then what happened next?
Well, I was blessed to get a job with a law firm, small boutique law firm, Walker and Cease, back in 1989 or 88. And then I went and interviewed with the Harris County District Attorney's Office, led by Johnny Holmes, notorious, legend in Harris County. And I worked for them. I went down to a big room, and there's like 15 prosecutors and heavy-hitting prosecutors, and they just fire questions at you left and right. I must have done pretty well, because the next day they called me and said, we want to hire you.
Wow.
And so I was hired, and I worked there for a couple of years, and I moved through the ranks pretty quick. I was already a chief prosecutor after probably 8 months in that office, which is fast.
Right. So everything seemed to be falling in place for you. So what have you learned? People said you learn most when you face obstacles. So what have you learned during your journey of becoming an attorney?
You jumped me into being a lawyer. I went to undergraduate school first at University of Missouri in Columbia. I had a professor who was my advisor, and I was trying to think about going to law school, and I told him my grades, and I told him what my SAT score was. He goes, give up that dream, you're not going to make it. I said, really? So from that day forward, I took every class that he offered. I aced every class of his. Guess who wrote the first letter of recommendation for law school for me was? That professor. I like when people tell me, you can't do, you won't be able to, all those. I love when they tell me no. Because I sit back, I don't get in their face, I don't say anything negative. I said, you know what, watch.
Wow.
Because even before that step, I was thinking about leaving high school early and going to college.
Okay.
And my advisor said, it's a mistake, you won't do it. You won't be successful. I said, okay. I went in, I had to graduate. To graduate high school, I had to be at least C's in college. 3.5 my first semester. I was only 17 years old. So I love when people tell me, you can't do it, because now you have challenged me. And when you challenge me, I'll rise to the challenge, and I will show you.
Your challenges. So if you had some advice for our audience, somebody who wanted to step into the law, for example, they want to explore the law or area, what kind of advice would you give them?
Make sure you're passionate about it. If this is not your calling.
Not because you're making money.
No. It is because your inner being says, I love this and I want to do this. Because if you're not committed to it, you will fail.
And how do you know it's this inner calling? People said, oh, this is my God calling, my inner calling. How do you know that's your true calling?
I've been blessed to know because my heart tells me. Just when I met my wife, within 3 weeks, I knew this is the lady I'm going to marry. I just felt it. And I knew this is what I want to do. Law since I was 4 or 5 years old, that's what I want to do.
And you've been married for how long?
35 years, about a week and a half ago. It's been 35 years.
Congratulations.
And that's where God blessed me too, with the most amazing woman that God created.
We get to that. I saw your beautiful families. Yes, I appreciate it. So, and then you practice law, right? And then what happened? You make a transition going to be an entrepreneur. You own your own business.
Correct.
So you want to carry your expertise being an entrepreneur. Tell us about it.
Well, I figured, how do you be successful in anything? You have to be focused, you have to be organized. You have to have a great time management schedule. If you can't do that, you won't make anything successful, your business or otherwise. And I've been able to do that by focusing and the energy needed to get there, just as you know, Danny, and you know, Sky. To make anything work, if you don't have your time management done to a letter, to the second, it's not going to work.
So how long have you been a business owner?
Since April 1st of 1991. 31, almost 31 years in a couple months.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So you understand, so it's very relevant. You know, our shows, our audience is small business owner, right, Sky? And you, as a business owner, you understand the difficulties of how a small business is facing. Do you have any question for Judge?
I really like your life, the attitude. You know, appreciate. For you just talk about always say thankful. and I want to give back. So I want to know if you run for judge, and what's your priority?
My priority is fairness to everyone that comes before that court. Because no one, whether you're rich, poor, educated, or uneducated, you deserve to be treated the same.
Yeah.
And fairness to people. And that's what I do in my municipal courts. I don't look at whether you're in a finely tailored suit or if you come in shorts and a t-shirt.
Yeah.
You deserve the same respect and the same fairness
Yeah.
that everyone else gets.
Yeah. Yeah, she was a little bit ahead of me, but I also want to emphasize on being a small business. What do you think the most difficulties or challenges in a time like this a small business owners are facing?
The economy,
Yes.
the world, but I think faith will get you through it. And if you stay hardworking people make it. You can't let things that get in the way, these little roadblocks, you can't let those control you. You have to go around a little roadblock. Just as if you're trying to get out of town when a hurricane's coming, going to Dallas is off I-45, but you know everybody's gonna go that way, right?
Yeah.
So you have to find side roads to get there. You can get through anything if you plan and you work hard. A guy one of my roommates in college taught me this, a great lesson, and I've used it every day since. He said, you ever notice, because I was having trouble in school at first, and he goes, you know how to get through that? I said, no. He said, you see those guys with jackhammers back that day, they used to use jackhammers to break up the street.
Yeah, we're talking about, yeah.
He said, you notice when they first start, it's hard to break it up. But if you stay at it,
A small hole.
it breaks it into bits of pieces you can pick up with your hand and throw.
So you're talking about the qualities of being a successful entrepreneur, but with the COVID, what do you think the COVID has done to small business owners?
It's broken their backs a little bit, but the ones that have stayed true to what their true calling and their true belief in their business is, they made it through. Because you have to figure out ways, how can I market myself? How can I help people come into my business
Yeah.
with all these obstacles? So we developed alcohol by the, takeout alcohol, set out takeout orders. We find ways to get around it. Again, that road to I-45 up to Dallas is blocked.
Right.
Figure other ways, and that's what smart business owners do. That are
Yeah.
smart.
So you are saying that adversity introduces a man to himself.
Absolutely.
Adversity breeds the creativities and all that. So you can, a
Absolutely.
person can look at this as a disaster or an opportunities.
Oh, absolutely.
And I connect to that very well because of it. So it forces you, when you're broken down to the bottom, that's when you use the most talents that you don't know that you had.
Right.
And I can connect to that very well.
Because there's more than one way to skin a cat. There's more than one way. Adversity creates ingenuity.
Right.
And you've done that, you know that, and you know that. That's how you take a challenge on. Okay, I can't do that, but I can try this other method. If you think outside that box, you'll make it.
Okay, do you think as an Asian American small business owners versus a local, quote unquote, an American who was born here, do you think that we're facing different challenges?
You probably face different challenges, just like I can tell you from my grandfather's stories to me, because he was an immigrant Jew,
Right.
tried to make it against other grocery stores when he opened up his.
Yes.
Hard work, getting in there before they get in, staying later than they do, showing quality, that's what gets people in. And I can tell you, the Asian community that I've been known throughout my life is very similar to our Jewish upbringing. You work hard, you stay focused,
Yeah.
and you use your intelligence to make it. And you know what? That's what's worked.
I don't know about you, but
Yeah.
I'm very grateful to hear that.
Yeah. Have you been to Chinatown?
I have,
Yeah.
yes, absolutely.
International district. So how do you like this area?
Yeah.
What do you think about the growth?
This has been one of the most amazing places in the growth.
How long have you lived in Houston, by the way?
Since 1984.
Oh, so you've seen the transformation.
I've seen it all. In fact, my good friend and neighbor who owns the Marriott West Chase over in the West Chase district, he's the chairman of the West Chase district, Harry Greenblatt.
Yeah.
And he's almost like a big brother to me. He's just been amazing.
And then you knew that, right? It used to be cornfield.
Yes.
So this area used to be a beltline of nothing.
This is one of the most beautiful sites. This part of Harris County, West Houston.
Right.
Look at the rest of
Southwest.
Harris County, Southwest and all that. This is one of the most upcoming, beautifully taken care of, and quite honestly, most prosperous part I think that I've seen.
What do you think some of the contributing factors to the success of this business community?
again, hard work. You cannot take away. If a business is open from 8 to 5, but the other one's open from 6 to 6, I'm going to the one that's 6 to 6.
So work ethic
is bottom line.
Prevail. Intelligent, you're saying.
Every time. Work ethic has been my number one thing that's got me where I'm at. Work ethic. I may not be as smart as you, but I guarantee I can outwork you.
I love it.
And I have.
I love it.
Because there are guys that I went to college with or law school with that I've way surpassed because I'm willing to put in the time that they're not.
Yeah, you remember when we were young, we used to read the stories of a turtle and a rabbit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, sometimes you are aware of your weaknesses, and that can become strength.
Yes.
I don't know about you, Sky. I mean, look at this family. You know, it's like he has a very happy family, and he had a good job. He's an attorney. He's well respected. Why do you want to run for politics? Well, why you jump into? You're already a judge. What seemed to be the motivations?
Motivation is I hate seeing people in courts sit for hours when they could be just a matter of minutes. All these courts, and this is one of the busiest in the state of Texas,
Right.
where people can sit there for 4, 5, 6 hours. Well, I know your time is more valuable than mine, and that's the truth. So if I can get you out of there in less than an hour, where you were spending 4 hours, I owe that to the community, which has been so good to me. And that's why I'm doing it.
What seemed to be the slow pace? Unacceptable slow pace like that.
Well,
Unacceptable.
I bring a high energy, as you can tell. And a lot of judges just get up there and they don't even come on the bench. I'm out there because if I'm out there, that makes everybody work because they don't want, if the judge is off the bench, I've seen this in my practice. When a judge leaves the bench, people just like talk and will, converse with things and just not get serious about doing their caseload. I'm out there, I'm actively participating, and I bring a high energy. So the lawyers that I deal with in municipal courts also do this court.
Yeah.
They will know I don't tolerate slowness, let's go, let's move. I've done that with every court, and they all know me, and they know my requirements, and they know my pace.
Yeah. Oh, I want to be a little bit specific.
Sure.
I mean, I'm not an attorney, but I understand that docket is being solved by first come, first serve, right? So,
Yes.
but how can you change that? I mean, they just serve from the orders of who?
Well, what makes it faster is that what I've done in my courts, I put up a PowerPoint presentation
Right.
in English and Spanish, and I will get to other languages as needed because I think it is becoming more and more diverse. I put that on there. Here's what you need to do. If you have this ticket or these tickets, here's your options. So imagine if you've got 150 people in the audience
Yes.
and the prosecutor has to spend 3 minutes with them. That's 450 minutes.
Right.
Divide that by 6. 60 minutes is an hour. You're in there all day. If you come up and as a prosecutor say, what do you want to do with your case? And they say, I'll take this option.
Right.
You're out of there, you're less than 30 seconds with them. The other part of what I've been able to do is I'll take and compartmentalize everything. I'll say, if you want defensive driving or deferred on this traffic ticket, get in this line. And have people in the court, personnel set up to put those people through. The other step that I'm going to implement, if I'm blessed with this job, is I'm going to go ahead and put online so you can skip arraignment. Arraignment is your first time in court. I'm not guilty. Fine. Click this button, we'll give you a new date for a pretrial, and you'll look at the evidence and determine whether you want to go to trial or not.
Right.
So there's ways to do it that have worked, and I've implemented because I thought outside the box.
Right. Right.
And it's made things go faster.
Right, I got you. You know, one thing that I'm still debating, I don't know if it's appropriate to talk it here, but my point of view,
Yes.
I'm not sure about the government policy spending time translating to different languages. I think we came to this country, and English should be the language, because if we translate it to one language, we have to translate. So I have a sympathy. I got compassion for the people but people have to catch up to the standard. I think English should be the language in the balance or whatever. It's just my opinion.
Well, and that's above my pay grade as a judge. I can't dictate that.
Yes.
But I think we are getting there faster than you think in the courts.
Yes.
But as one that wants to be inclusive of everyone, I think we still need to help those that, again, they come over here as adults.
Right.
It's harder.
Right.
The ones that come as kids, within 6 months, they're speaking English.
Right.
So it's not a problem. I can't address that because I'm not in the legislature.
Yeah, I understand. I'm putting your non-judge
Sure.
as a citizen, because
Sure.
it's very, because there's some other solution for that. You know, he can have an interpreter or something like that.
Right.
But you know, sometimes translating is I read some of the Vietnamese translation. I said, what the heck?
Right.
I mean,
Right.
how can you translate Kisluk into Kisluk?
You can't. No, and I've done some weddings in different languages. In Mandarin, for example, I did one.
Yeah.
And what I did is I took it and off the internet, Google Translate, and had it recorded.
Right.
And did it piece by piece, and also printed it out because I wanted to be helpful to the folks when I was doing weddings.
Right.
My goal, if I get this job, is not to do weddings anymore.
Gotcha.
Because I want to focus on getting people in and out of the courtroom as fast as possible, but protecting their rights and being fair.
How does it feel to perform a wedding ceremony? Have you ever seen some interesting cases?
I have. It's nice, but quite honestly, I would
Yeah.
rather focus on case law and casework. So my goal is to do away with doing weddings, quite honestly, because I want to make sure that I'm elected to do a job that I do.
Right.
And one thing that bothered me as a lawyer and a municipal court judge where I do weddings
Right.
is when people call and say, well, this judge will do this wedding for a smaller price.
Right.
I said, well, that judge is a county employee pocketing money in his pocket on the county dime.
Wow.
And I said, that's wrong. So
Yeah.
that's my plan, is to focus on being the judge, not an entrepreneur making weddings and making that money.
Right. I want to ask the judge some serious questions. Do you have the other questions you want to ask the judge?
I think you already helped me. You know everything.
No, because we think alike, right? So, you know that our shows, we're, like you said, very hardworking. We work hard to earn our living. We earn our investments.
Right.
You know, you see all the building and shopping center, it doesn't just come, it doesn't drop from the sky. As we earn it with hard work.
Right.
And I want to, what I'm heading to is evictions, because that is what you want to get into. What do you think about the people who take advantage of landlord and not paying rent?
I will put the law in place, and the law says if you have not paid your rent, and if it's not related to any of these executive orders, you're out. A judge's ruling is based on fact and law,
Right.
not on your heart and how you feel. Because you're going to come across, oh my gosh, this
You're not
mother
making
of three
laws,
kids.
you interpret laws.
That's it. And we're not here to, I'm sorry that you and your 3 kids will be on the street, but the law says if you don't do these things,
Right.
you're out. And you have to follow the law as a judge. I'm a strict constructionist, means if the law says A, you have to do A.
Right.
You can't make the law from the bench, because that's not your job. The job of the
love it.
legislature is to do that.
This is the kind of candidate that we need to be on the bench.
Yeah.
Because a lot of judges, they create laws.
Yeah.
Your job is not creating laws, dude. Your job is to interpret the laws.
Correct.
But you know, you have my respect when you said that.
Thank you. Thank you. One thing that I think ties our communities together, yours, Asian community, and the Jewish community,
Yeah.
is the focus, not only on ethic, hard work,
Right.
but it's on education. Does it have to be formal education? Not necessarily. If you educate your family
Yeah.
on business and how to do things and how to treat people,
Yeah.
education is not just that formal ivory tower. It's life experience education that my grandfather taught me, which translated into my actions
Right.
moving towards being a lawyer.
Right. Right.
Work ethic is one thing, but education will carry the day as well.
Well, if the people give you an opportunity to get on that the position that you're after, what would you do? What would you do differently?
One thing, I'd expedite things because I know how to make things run faster
Right.
and more efficient. One other thing I want to do is I want to also connect with schools
Yeah.
and bring in schools to have certain times where they can come watch, can come behind the scenes,
Right.
to understand how law works, what a judge's role is, what the staff is supposed to do, what the bailiff does, what a police officer does.
Right.
Because if you bring everybody together, then you don't have this division between, oh, he's a police officer, I don't like police. Because you don't know them.
Right.
When you get to know them, that breaks the barrier down. You get to know that person.
How do you like Judge Judy?
It's interesting, but one thing they teach us in our judicial schools we have to go to each year
Right.
is you can't do those things because they violate judicial canons of ethics.
Right. To me, it's more like a show than a real.
It's not even real. It's not real in this sense. Judges can't sit there and say what she says. That would get you ethical.
A lot of opinion, right? A lot of opinions, a lot of morals.
But she's violating the rules of ethics, judicial ethics, by yelling and taking a side. You can't do that. You're supposed to be non-confrontational.
Yeah.
You have to be respectful, and you rule with the law. That's a show. It's like professional wrestling. It's a show.
Right.
Judge Judy, smart lady.
Right.
But this is all for ratings and all to keep your show going. It's not what the real judge is supposed to do. That will get you. There's every show. There'd be so many judicial canons of ethics that she violates that she'd be in trouble with the Judicial Commission.
Yes, you know, I'm not trying to get her personally, but I'm trying to compare the real world. Right. So, do you have the right to teach people moral lessons, even when you find it's appropriate? Is that allowable?
You can shine light and say, this is what you need to do.
Yeah.
But you shouldn't be. It's not your job to teach them moral lessons. No.
Gotcha.
And you also wouldn't say, well, what do you think I should do, Judge? I said, I can't practice law for you. I'm the judge. I'm the referee. Right. Just like in a professional football contest, the quarterback can't say, well, referee, should I do this? They can't. All they can do is see what's being done and make a ruling on what's being done in front of them.
Gotcha.
That's all we can do.
Okay, we got a couple more minutes, guys. Okay, I'll let you ask a couple more questions before we end.
Yeah, I think I really appreciate you today coming to our studio. And I really like your life attitude, like I say. So can you give some positive energy for our audience?
Yeah, I can. Always take each moment that you give like it's your last. Because God gives you a breath in the morning, may not last all day. So treat people with respect, give people everything you've got that day, and you'll be fulfilled for the rest of your life, whether it be a day or 100 years.
Yeah, awesome.
And one thing, if I can add, I'm sorry, but in addition to all the stuff that I do, for 7 years, I coached a basketball team.
Nice.
And we always had a winning record. We won a championship in a tournament in New York after only our second year being up there.
Right.
And I taught my kids that I coached, all of which, not just exceptions, all of which are professionals to this day. Business owners, lawyers, doctors, teachers, all because I instilled in them that discipline for education and work and respect to people.
Right.
Just as our communities are tied, maybe financially, work ethic, but dedication to being nice to people. I don't think I've come across anybody in my faith or in any Asian community or any other community that has not been nice if you're nice to them.
Right.
Treat people not only how you want to be treated, but somebody may be having a bad day and they're just ugly to you.
Right.
Understand they're having a bad day. Don't react negatively.
Compassion.
Try to understand where they're coming from and see if you can help. Because a lot of times it's just a matter of how can I help you have a better day? And then that shield comes down and they have tears in their eyes and they say, you know what, I'm just having a bad day. You have given me the greatest gift of all today, the chance to meet you, to understand your stories, and to get my story out there as well. And for that, I'm eternally grateful.
Thank you.
So much.
As a matter of fact, I think he can easily be a motivational speaker. You know that. Because, he does energize and inspire people. Well, I pray that, with your talents and your devotions and your energy, whatever that you have inside you, I hope you bring that and contribute to the society. We need a lot more good people. And inspiration is important. Like Sky just said, attitude is everything. If you don't have the right attitude, everything else doesn't matter. But the fact that you came and we connected because of the right attitude. And, you have a story just that we can connect it. A descendant of an immigrant from Russia, from Vietnam, from China. We came to America. We treasure this land. And finally, you become somebody, not a successful person to yourself, your family, but a contributor to the society.
Success to me starts with you two. You have successfully bring people in. You've built up a good business, but your success, I think you'd all agree, is when you can go to sleep at night knowing that you've made the world a better place each and every day. And the inspiration that your audience should get out of all this is not from me, but from what you've been able to do, what you have done. Because you are able to make everybody else around you better, personally, financially, and spiritually. And there's a lot to be said for that. That's the number one thing in life. Leave each day and the person you meet in a better position than they started. And you've made that for me today. And I'm not patronizing you. I'm just telling you, you guys have, I've read your story. I'm impressed by it. And when he said, would you like to be on that show? I said, I would love to. Because I get inspiration from people that I see that are dedicated to helping people. And for that, I thank you.
Like attracts like, right?
I think so.
Anyway, thank you so much. Thank you so much for spending time with us. Judge Bret Kisluk.
That's it.
Kisluk. Thank you so much. Many more to come. Good luck to you. And
thank you so much for everything.
I appreciate you.
Sky.
Thank you so much. Thank you for our audience joining us today. 这就是今天的子天访谈录，我们下期再见。